And we are live. Welcome to Wednesday Night Fish Talk. And tonight we have Dave from Aquarium Thoughts. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. Thank you everybody for joining us. Who we have in here tonight? The Chubby Guppy. How you doing? Fishy Biz. How are you doing? And for the people watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. So Dave, for the people that don't know you, where are you located at, first of all?
I'm in sunny Southern California over in Orange County.
Nice warm weather over there right now, right?
Actually, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool today. It was actually raining today earlier, so not exactly the most sunny day today, but it's rainy season right now, so we need to get this rain.
Oh yeah, better than all these snowstorms they're having in other states, you know, and problems they having. So Dave, thank you for joining us tonight. How long have you been in the hobby now?
Oh, how long have I been in the hobby? That I don't know exactly when I really started this round. I think it's been about 3, maybe 4 years. I know I haven't really been doing YouTube in terms of fish. I started that like 2 years ago.
So the Hobby 3 been documenting on YouTube for about 2 years.
Yes.
That's your little one?
That's my youngest one.
What got you into the hobby? How you doing?
He said good. What got me into my hobby? Just like anything, it was pretty much on a whim. I just decided, let's set up an aquarium. Let's put some fish in there and go from there. And of course, then I fall into the whole YouTube rabbit hole and just started watching a bunch of YouTube videos on it. And now I am actually making videos for it.
Yep, now you're on the platform making videos. What was the first fish you bought? You remember?
My first tank, Cardinal Tetras. It was more like a community setup. It was just in a 20-gallon tall, so like nothing humongous or anything fancy.
Now, how many tanks do you have? You started from that one. 3 years later, how many you have?
Yeah. Right now, I have in the house. I have basically that you can actually see is this window tank behind me. Over to my other side right there, I have my piston tank on the bottom as well as my multi-fasciitis on the top. And I have in this cabinet, I have a couple tanks in there. One's culturing blackworms, and the other one's like just having snails. Other than that, I do have my tubs in my pond outside, which I have the 110-gallon pond that I have, and I have 3, maybe 4 tubs, along with the Rubbermaid thing. So I probably have like 5 or 6 out there, other than the pond.
Muppets, how are you doing? What are the fish you mainly have out there in the tub?
In one of them, I have my rosy barbs, my like, longfin rosy barbs. I had that in one of those black little Home Depot tubs. Well, basically it's a container. But,
hey, they're tubs to us.
What was that?
I said, for us in the hobby, those are tubs or tanks. I consider them tanks too. That's just your outside tank.
Yeah. In my 110-gallon tub, I have long-eared sunfish, which I recently acquired. So I have those growing up in there. Right now, I do have one other tub that's running with a couple golden top minnows, which I have to find a place to figure those out because I kind of moved them from my 110 to that so I can have my sunfish in there. Then I have orange Madaki rice fish, which I got from Jesse from HC Aqua. And what else do I have? I have another rice fish, which is quote unquote a cherry blossom rice fish. There's other long name to it. I can't remember it offhand. And then I have southern red belly dace in my other tub.
Are you breeding any of these breeding for you, or you just keeping them out there?
I'm hoping they do breed, but it's still pretty cool out, so it's probably not going to be a lot of breeding until it starts getting warmer. So that's what I'm waiting for on that. So I'm do hoping that they start breeding out there, especially the rice fish. I mean, they won't start breeding until it gets warmer. Same thing with the sunfish I have out there, and the sunfish are still young. So
I didn't hear no guppies. No guppies out there.
no guppies. My issue with that is typically with my outdoor fish keeping, I'm trying to keep stuff that I can keep year round. Stuff's going to survive when it gets cold. I mean, yeah, I might be in Southern California, but there's still nights that it gets pretty decently cold. So I mean, from my research, the guppies probably not make it to the cold nights that we have.
How cold does it get down there at night? The worst.
The worst you get down to the 40s.
Because go back in my videos one day, I found guppies in a container I left outside for a little over a year, and we get down to the 30s at night. And I have had plenty of guppies survive outside down to the 30s. You know, as long as you got aeration or you're running constant flow. But mine didn't have none of that stuff. I mean, I didn't. Yeah. They were just in a container, just there. They survived the whole year, over a year. And they were breeding. I mean, big old population. I must have left like, I think 2 or 3 when I grabbed the colony I used to have there. And those kept on breeding and breeding. And I found another colony out there.
Well, one of these days I might have to look into that. But I mean, right now I'm just focusing on stuff that I know would last the whole year round and try to get those going.
Yeah, you got to buy from local breeders in your area. If they did it, you know, like if they got babies from breeding fish outside too, it's always good because you know you got good genetics. Importing them, you're gonna have problems in the winter.
Give me 1 second here.
No problem. Well, let me get to the chat real quick. We got I Hate Stupid People. How you doing? Muppets, Third Coast Aquatic. Thank you for joining us. Tank Top Tropics. How you doing? Anthony Fish Friends.
Hey Anthony, how's it going? Yeah, depending on the guppies, most of them survive. Yeah,
line bred or Asian strains. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you got to make sure they're good strains and everything. You can have some good live bears out there.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, he's in the same climate as I am. He's pretty close to that. I mean, you probably saw some of the videos where we went down to San Diego. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one place you went to, Aquaballs. How you doing? What was that name? That one that they were doing aquascaping. It was a little small museum.
That was Kai.
That one.
Yeah. So it's actually a really small, little, tiny place, but I mean, I edited that video. I was surprised on how long that video lasted, considering how small that whole place is. I mean, there's just a lot packed into that small little shop.
Yes, it looked like it. I mean, because you know, I was looking at the video. I'm like, there got to be stuff he probably couldn't even show it, and it didn't look that big. But it was. From every single angle, you see something different. It was pretty cool video there.
And there was some tanks I actually didn't do because they're still setting it up, and some of them needed to be cleaned. And I'm like, I'm not going to show the LD fill tanks that they're still working on. So,
John McKenzie S, how you doing? Now, who does all the aquascaping there? Is it just one person?
I'm not quite sure because basically they're. I don't know if you saw my other fish store tours, but they're pretty much a sister shop to Petsa in San Diego. If you ever watch those store tours, how I always talk about how they're really geared towards aquascaping. They have a bunch of people in that store that actually deal with aquascaping, so it could be a lot. It's probably some of those employees that go down there as well. And I know
I heard the name of Kai, I didn't know if that meant there was a certain person that they did that for, you know.
Yeah, that I don't know. I mean, all I know it's kind of in an artsy kind of district, and they shop with aquascaping, and they set up like the aquascapes and all those nice aquascapes.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother art, aquascape.
Yeah, I know with the Pet Zone San Diego, at one point they did have a aquarium that was set up by Tom Barr in the store. If you're familiar with Tom Barr.
Mm-hmm. I follow a little bit of aquascape, and I look into it, and I'm like, I could never do that. You know,
Neither.
I could draw it, but
my aquascape is just throwing plants in there and letting them go.
yes, that's my aquascape, and keep it simple. Whatever lives lives, and whatever don't, just I know not to get that one again.
Yeah, and right now I really only have one tank that I can actually do any aquascaping in. Because I don't know if you've seen me behind me, I have my Mabunas, which will tear up any plants that I put in there. Same thing with my multis, they'll either bury them or they'll float out of the sand. Although with my multis, I was able to put some Ponagedans in there. And that's just throwing plants in there and letting them survive, hopefully.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I just deal with basic plants, you know, and everything, and I understand the lighting a little bit on the basic stuff, but I won't go to the extent of what these aquascapers do and how they get these stuff to just grow amazingly the way they do.
Yeah, and if you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll see my my 60-gallon I had, which was a community tank. I just had plants just growing in there. It was just complete forest and all that. I mean, that one I did do the CO2 in that one. I did the fertilizers in that, and I just let it grow into a forest.
What you had in there?
What was it?
What plants you had in there?
Oh, I had dwarf sag in there. What else did I have in there? I had a bunch of hygrophilas, hygrophila sunset, hygrophila. I forget the other hygrophilas I had in there. I had what's called mermaid weed in there before. I had crinum in there.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the whole to that one though, but
Hey, they good with the CO2. Hey, it worked.
yeah. I mean, it was a complete forest, but
what fish were in there with that, or was it just plant?
I had my Cardinal Tetras in there. I had a whole school of those. I also had some SBI rasboras, which I like. I like those ones much better than the Harlequins. I mean, they're a little similar to the Harlequins, just their black spots a little bit smaller and they have more orange into them. And then I had a few other fish in here and there in that tank before as well.
Now, since you're new in the hobby and you just got into this, you should have this fresh in your mind. What's your family thought about you getting into the hobby?
My boys like it. They like going to fish stores with me and all that. My wife, she's not really into it. She doesn't really like all the tanks in the house. So that's one reason why I have a lot of outdoor fish keeping now instead of the stuff indoors, because I can't really put anything indoors.
Yeah, indoors you only got limited space.
Yeah.
I always ask that because I just like to know family's opinion, because some people think we're crazy for having all these tanks and keeping all these fish like we're hoarding, and some people actually understand it. It's just a big hobby. Some of us take it to the extreme, some of us don't, but it's a fun hobby.
Hey Kenny, how's it going?
We got Kenny in the house. How you doing? Ricky, PB, how you doing? Now, what else do you have? What you got behind you?
Behind me is my Mabuna tank, which is the 60-gallon Mabuna tank I have in there. I can move it over a little bit more in there right now. Color, of course. Don't ask me to name all the ones I have in there. I completely can't tell you. I know I have a few. I do have a super red top Hongoi. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I have a Rusty in there, which is actually from Anthony. He gave me that one. Let's see what What other ones do I have in there? I know I have some yellow labs in there, and Joan Johnson eye in there. I have a couple of those in there as well. Those are just the ones I can name off the top of my head that I know the names for.
Mm-hmm. What else do you have in the house?
I have my multifasciitis tank with, of course, my multifasciitis. And below that is my pisto tank, which I have a Hungsley pistogramma and some autosynclus catfish.
So you like cichlids a lot. You kind of going to the cichlid side?
Yeah, I like the cichlid side. Of course, if I had more room for another tank, I'd probably get some other fish. But
what would you get? Let's say you could get another tank. What would you get right now?
If I had another tank, I'd really love to get an African butterfly fish again. Which I don't know if it's those ones that just hang up on the top and they kind of look like mini arowanas.
Yeah.
I'd really love to get those again. Give me 1 second here. I don't want the TV on the stream, so I don't want to copyright strike. Yeah. But yeah, I'd really love to get some of those again. I had them until about the time where I was about to move. When I moved, I decided I'm just going to kind of start over a little bit. I kept my. I don't think I kept my. The only thing I kept was my multis. Everything else I kind of got rid of.
Petro Man, how you doing? John McKenzie, thank you for joining us. Hey, Ricky, if you have a chance, can you please throw Dave's link to his channel?
Okay, yeah, now, you can't hear the TV on the screen, can you?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay. I just want to double check.
Now those fish you were just talking about, those African flying fish, can you keep them with anything else?
I actually had them with my lemon pistogrammas. But my pistogrammas would stay on the bottom, and the African butterfly fish would just stay on the top. And it was kind of a 20-gallon tall, so I mean it had some space. I mean, the one problem with those keeping other fish is they are carnivorous. So if they can fit them in the mouth, they will eat them. But I found out they really didn't touch the smaller fish. I actually got them onto dry food, and they really didn't bother the other fish in the tank. And most of the other fish stayed away from them. So.
Thank you, Ricky. Now, what's your dream fish of all time? Like, what would be the dream fish you would love to get?
Good question. the one I really want to keep right now is, like I said, the African butterfly fish. I'd really like to keep those again. Other than that, I can't really think off the top of my head. It's just sometimes it's just a matter of just seeing a fish. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty neat. I would kind of like to keep it. Right now, I don't have any of those on the top of my head.
Are you gonna grow your collection outside of totes?
I might add a few more in time. It just depends on how that goes out there. I don't want to go too far until I know for a fact that it's going to work out pretty well.
Now, it sounds like you really haven't been too big into the breeding. Is that something they always, you kind of want to get to, or just you're more of a I want to keep fishing, I'm fine with that?
I'm more just keep fishing. If they breed, that'd be great. But I mean, right now, the only thing I really got breeding for me right now is my multifasciitis, and they're kind of taking a break during the cooler weather. But I've had pistogrammas breed for me before, but other than that, that's about it.
That's a neat little fish. I love pistos.
Yeah.
I mean, they're for their size, they got so much character and so much color. Yeah, I love you have it on the logo.
Exactly, with the logo. That's one reason why I got them on the logo, because I like pistos myself.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, my all-time is Angelfish for me and everything, but I keep so many different types of fish. I see the beauty in all of them, you know.
Yeah.
Plecos, would you get to plecos?
I typically don't do. I've had some bristlenose before, but beyond that, I'm not really a big pleco fan.
Nothing about none of the
There's a
crazy.
lot of neat ones out there, though.
I thought you'll get some of the neat plecos out there, like some zebra plecos or something like that. There's some pretty cool ones out there.
Yes, there is. I know at one point in my big community tank, I did have some starlight plecos, all bristlenose, anyways. Those are pretty neat when they're young. They have like the little small. They're black and they have like these little white dots all over them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ricky wants to get into the pistols and everything too. Now, would you ever get into like bettas or anything like that? Since you're in a smaller area, you know, like to keep bettas inside.
I mean, if I can convince my wife to allow me to have like another small little tank somewhere, I probably would.
Just to add an extra tank in the house.
I mean, at one point, I actually did have a beta in my community tank at one point.
Okay. Male, female?
It was a male. It didn't bother any other fish, and the other fish didn't really bother them.
Well, we got a question. Ricky wants to know, what has been your worst experience having fish?
Probably when I almost gassed my whole tank when I was working with CO2. The CO2 accidentally was on all. It was during a change of a CO2 tank, and I didn't realize I had the CO2 too high. And I got home from work, and a lot of the fish were just gasping for air, and a few of them, of course, blasted.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
Other than nearly getting my eye taken out by a CO2 coil. and that was actually I actually have that on video too on one of my old videos.
Was that both on the same day?
No, different days.
Oh wow, you had CO2 problems for a while, huh?
Yeah. What about loaches? I mean, there's a lot of cool loaches out there. It's just not something I've really had. I used to have some hillstream loaches. I had those before. Well, I don't know if they might have been the Borneo suckers, but I really don't remember offhand exactly what they were.
Anything he wants to know, is that why he has your tank now?
Yes, that's why I gave you that tank, because I kind of wanted to start new when I got over to the new place rather than transporting a bunch of like tanks here. I decided I'll just buy new tanks. That's why you got that tank as a sump now. So
he's using it as a sump.
Yeah, I believe Anthony turned that into a sump.
So, you're giving out stickers right now, aren't you?
Asking me or asking Anthony? Yeah, safety glasses.
You have stickers too, don't you?
What was that? Yeah, I do have stickers now too.
Okay. How can they get a copy? How can they get one of your stickers?
If they go to aquariumthoughts.com/stickers, you can find that there. You can order them. Keep in mind it is a name your price. I mean, if you want them for free, just mark it down to 0, and I'll send them out to you for free. That's not a problem. So I just decided to go that way because if I have people emailing me, they'll get lost in the emails I have in my mailbox. So I like keeping them in a nice little order sheet.
Aquariumthoughts.com/stickers. At least give them $1 or $2, guys. They cost them $1 or $2 to get made.
Hey, Vanosky, how's it going?
Who else we have? Oh,
Banowski stinks.
would you ever keep reptiles?
Not anymore.
You used to?
Later. I probably won't keep reptiles anymore. I used to have back when I lived in Ohio. When I was younger, I had what's called a red gamma. I had one of those. I also had a baby alligator back there as well. That was back in the day when I was young. I was like, oh, cool! I can get an alligator. Sure, cool. Why not? Back when I was like one of those, it's a cool thing to get kind of thing. I mean, it was pretty cool, but.
Oh my Lord, you had a pet alligator. We live in Florida down here, and we don't even do that down here.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool to have, but really not cool to play with or anything like that. Because that's one thing I didn't want to have it bite me. I mean, it was still like a small little baby one, but still.
How long you kept them?
What was that?
How long did you keep them?
I probably had it for about 6 months until I moved out to California, and my mom gave it away to someone that was going to keep it.
So he got a decent size on you.
Probably. I mean, it did get bigger, but really not humongous, though.
Oh yeah. But still, that's that's still too big to keep.
Sorry, my voice was curious what we're talking about right now.
They're like, talking about fish.
What was that?
All about fish. I said it's all about fish.
All about fish, exactly.
Do you think they'll get into the hobby?
Maybe. We'll see once they get older. I mean, they do like coming to me to fish stores and seeing the fish there, and I know they especially like going to this one fish store kind of close to me where they can actually feed some like tiny sharks and some rays.
So it might rub off on them. It wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, it wouldn't. A lot of good things about fish keeping and all that. It's just a matter of just making sure you're doing your research. I know when I was younger, I really didn't do the research. I really didn't think out that baby alligator purchase. I'm surprised I was actually able to buy one.
Oh yeah. Don't be surprised if one of them show up with a baby alligator. Where do you see the hobby in 5 years? Where do you see it?
Where do I see myself in the hobby in 5 years? I see myself actually changing this out to a different setup. Other than that, I really don't know right now.
I think he meant the hobby in general. What do you see the hobby going to? You think it's going to grow? It's going to get smaller?
Oh, that guy. Okay. I interpret that a different way. I would hope to see it grow in the next 5 years. I know this year with 2020, I heard a lot of good news in terms of it becoming busier, in terms of people finding an in-home hobby to do. I just hope that all these people actually take that as a chance to actually research what they're doing and continue on it. I'm sure some of it will. I mean, some of it should stick, but I mean, a lot of it has to do with like, a lot of people. And looking at YouTube, there's a lot of younger people coming into this as well. Which is always nice to see.
It's been a big growth on YouTube too. A lot of people now documenting themselves getting into the hobby.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I mean, the way the fish hobby is going, I think a lot of people are going to actually get more into the YouTube side of things rather than going to fish clubs. Unfortunately, I mean, I wish more people would actually get into their fish clubs as well.
And I think a lot of people coming into the hobby, I see a lot more growth in smaller fish. I see that popping off more because, the dwarf cichlids is a big thing, and it's a cichlid you could keep inside your house. You don't have to have multiple tanks, and the average fish keeper only has a few tanks, They don't
Yeah.
You don't have a reach.
A lot of the focus has been getting into more of the nano setups as well, the nano aquascapes, and they get like the small. They get the betas and they get the small little tiny ones as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see aquascaping growing too. That art form growing more. You know, see, I can see that art form growing a lot more.
I still think that there's a lot of growth in this hobby. A lot of things are actually involving a lot of new technologies coming out of this and all that. When I first had an aquarium back when I was back in Ohio, back when I was a young teen, I mean they were still using those. Primarily, it was like under gravel filter systems.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. That's where the hobby was. Nowadays, it's growing beyond that. They're going into like the sumps. They're going more on the hang on backs and the sponge nowadays. Then of course you get some of the people actually don't go with any filter at all, and they just have like air and all that going through.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, you have enough plants and a deep substrate. You know, you can create a perfect environment. You know, some people run it that way. I see it, you know, growing, and I even see, you know, under gravel filters starting to make a little bit of a comeback now and everything, because some people are experimenting with those old ways again. You know, the old methods that they used to keep fish with. You know,
Yeah, a lot of things are. A lot of things work on cycles. I mean, right now the focus. I mean, at one point the Mubunas and the African cichlids were huge, and now they're really not so hot. Now it's other fish. And eventually, people will get tired of those fish. And eventually, you might see those African cichlids come back into favor and all that. So it's just a matter of just how things flow.
Yeah, and it depends too, regional too, what they could get there too, because some areas can't get as much as certain areas.
And a lot of it has to do with what kind of water you have available to you. Where I'm at, we have hard water, so I mean, African cichlids is always an excellent choice, as well as guppies, which of course is a really big thing now. Is guppies.
Mm-hmm.
Because your friends know. I don't know. Have you ever heard of the Nomo?
No.
I really don't know what the science is behind it, but it's like probably like a year or two ago, there was this one Kickstarter called the Nomo, where basically it was supposed to work with underground filters, and it's supposed to create a system where you don't have to do water changes in the aquarium. But well, I'm not really sure about science, but
so somebody's trying to bring undergravel filters on Kickstarter.
well, it's a device that you use along with underwater gravel filters. I mean, I know at one point there was one person who did videos. I guess the Nomo people actually sent him one, and he did a few videos. I really don't know how well that came up nowadays because he hasn't been doing any videos lately. So
they must not took off because I haven't heard of them. They're a no-go.
yeah, I mean, I was a bit skeptical. I was a bit skeptical from the beginning because basically, if you saw the Kickstarter, you saw the videos, it basically their whole video sounded like a as seen on TV kind of skit with like all those like testimonials and all that, and supposedly they're around like for 3 or 4 years even before they went to Kickstarter. So I'm like,
no. Now I've been seeing. I don't know if you've seen what the Asians have been doing over there, but they have a lot of tanks now that are controlled with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's. I mean, it hasn't. I haven't really seen it take off in the States like that. But over there, they have some technology that's crazy.
You could probably find a lot that more in the saltwater side of things, where they have the controllers. I think the Apex systems probably have more of the Bluetooth in it more than on the freshwater side. I know on the freshwater side now you do have the Felix. Yeah, the Felix, which is kind of out. I mean, probably like I think last year at some point they came out with something that was kind of geared more towards the freshwater side of things. Which you do have like control things on the phone. as far as that go, I have done a lot of things with my phone in terms of my lights, my flugels. They're run by my phone.
Yeah.
At one point, I did have a lot of stuff run with smart plugs, which is all on the phone as well. So it's getting there. It's just a matter of you probably don't have any other thing other than Felix geared towards controlling your whole system in that kind of aspect.
Yeah, I was seeing one tank. It had the bottom of it was like a heat plate it had, and you control the temperature with your phone on your own tank, and the device inside it reads your water, and you can see your water conditions right on your phone. You never had to take a sample of your water and stuff like that, and I thought that was pretty cool. They're blending in the lights with it and everything, technology that's kind of already been coming out and everything, and now you could like do so much more. Have full control.
Yeah, those devices do exist out there. It's just a matter of just finding them and implementing them. There's a lot of cool things you could probably do in terms of a nice blended tank system where it monitors your pH, which can control your CO2 level as well, which might be a good option out there that people might be wanting to experiment with and see how that goes.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is price point. Yeah, they got to make it inexpensive for the normal hobbyist to be able to afford this stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people, it's all about the money. People like to keep things as cheap as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, in this hobby, you try to do it as cheap as possible because it could get really expensive.
Things, even doing yourself stuff. Hey, Zen Ginger, how's it going? Even doing do-it-yourself stuff, that could end up expensive too. But to do the do-it-yourself stuff.
Oh yeah, how's it going?
Just like this right now, so.
Like Bill. The
You gotta make him a Lego tank.
He builds his own Lego.
He has to build a whole tank, start building his own fish.
Oh, that I was thinking the other kind of tank. I was thinking about the army tank. Yeah.
Man.
I've seen a lot of cool things done with Lego and some tank decorations too, but
see, I'm a more simple throw gravel and grab whatever decoration I have. Never gotten too crazy about decoration. I like just rocks mainly. I like a lot of rocks in my tank.
I've been liking the more natural look myself. So if like Pesto Caves, I actually use Brazil nut huts. I don't use like those terracotta ones and that for those or anything. I just use the Brazil nut husks. And of course, I decorate with plants and rocks. But yeah, as you can see, I do have a lot of rocks in the Maguna tank. So finally got those plastic shoe boxes.
He's trying to learn to breed bettas.
You have a lot of videos on this?
Huh?
You have a lot of videos on breeding bettas?
Not that deep into it. I'm gonna start documenting a lot more of it and everything. For a while, I took a break. I was not even recording stuff, and then I kind of, I got back into the recording stuff again about a year ago. Really recording stuff and everything. But that's something that I want to start doing is documenting step by step. I've done it with some other fish, but I want to do it with the bettas now, and I actually want to do it with a few cichlids that I'm going to start playing with in there.
Yeah. It gets hard sometimes wanting to actually videotape sometimes. Like, no, I just want to get this done and over with, and setting up the camera equipment just kind of adds extra steps sometimes you don't want to do, but totally understandable why you don't do that sometimes.
Yeah, because I just run in here and I check them, and everything, and then like when I feed them, it's me running into the fish room, feeding fry, with I used a little turkey baster and start grabbing baby brine shrimp and just running tank to tank, just feeding fry and everything and just running out. I don't think about, let me record this and everything. I got to sit down and actually be like, okay, I got to do this,
Yeah.
And make sure it's recorded. So how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you again for watching. Now I hope your fish come in and you get some success, Ricky. GT Aquatic going.
I just had to lower the TV a little bit. I don't know if you could hear it on there or not. So, but
Nah, we didn't hear nothing at all.
Alrighty. I was gonna be cautious. Yeah, this is why I normally don't stream at this time, but
talking about streaming, when do you stream?
I stream Thursday night, right after Chattanooga Ed. So probably around I think it's 8:30 Pacific my time.
What time your time?
11:30 p.m. It's 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 11:30 p.m.
Hey, Rob.
What up, Rob? What's good?
So that's tomorrow night. So I stream tomorrow night.
Okay, tomorrow night. Is that the only live stream you do?
That's the only live stream I do, yeah.
Now, what's your live stream about? I haven't checked it out. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Everybody get it for you. I'm not quite sure what my tomorrow one's going to be yet. I haven't really decided too much. I might just touch up with some controversy subject tomorrow. So that might be my live stream about controversial.
I didn't hear you. What was it?
Probably tomorrow is going to be about controversial ideas.
Controversial ideas.
So
that'd be a good one.
Hopefully. Then, of course, like I'll probably see afterwards, I might do a hangout if anyone's up to it. But
okay. Thank you, Ricky, again. Definitely, guys, check them out. Now, what type of filter do you prefer? HOB, canister, or sponge?
Right now, I've been doing the hang on the back. I have the Untitled titles on pretty much mostly this one and my multis. Sponge filters I have in my tubs outside. That's about it in terms of sponges. Canisters I'm not really that big of a fan of, although I do have one running. I do have one running on this tank right there, along with my hang on the back.
I seen that you got the solar pump. Is that what you're running your sponge filters outside with?
That's what I'm running out with the sponge filters outside. Yes, I have. I got two of them. One's running on the pond with the small sponge filter, as well as the tub with my rosy barbs, and then I have another one further back running the 4 tubs, 4 sponge filters on those.
So they could run up to 4 sponge filters?
It's running 4 of them. As long as I get enough sun, it's running all 4. So if it's kind of when I'm running, it's kind of like a little more shaded, so I wasn't getting enough power to power them all 4 unless I configured it to a point where I actually got all 4.
Give me
Give me a second here. Hey, can you help your brother, please? Yeah. Sorry.
No problem. Oh, we got some people said they're gonna tune in tomorrow. Now, yes, I was wondering about that because I saw you got it, but I wonder how many it could actually run and how good it's been running for you. So if it's on direct sunlight, it gives you enough power to do 4 right now.
Yeah, I'll get back. Yeah, right now it's running 4.
Now at night, does it turn off completely, or does it have a backup battery?
It does have a battery, although I'm not quite sure how well it works after the fact because I haven't really gone out there late at night due to how dark it gets back there. I might have to go check on that one of these nights and see how it goes.
Yeah, I wonder if it runs throughout. Would it still keep running throughout the whole night for you? Because cold days, you kind of want that aeration going on.
I mean, primarily, I really only run it. I basically only reason why I have it running it so it kind of basically gets rid of some of the film off the top, so it doesn't have a film gathering on the top. And if it's just running the day, that does what I want it to do. When I was just running it without that, basically the tub next to my pond, it used to get this thick film of algae sitting on the top, and like anything below. I kind of wanted to get rid of that film so I could actually see.
Yeah, I know. Somebody.
Well, so.
Mm-hmm. Now, how big of a sponge filter are you using out there?
It's small, tiny ones. Nothing large.
Like 10-gallon type small ones, 20-gallon?
Yeah, probably like 10-gallon ones.
Oh, okay.
That's humongous.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, because I have ran outside, before, but never ran a pump. I have done running water constantly, if I needed to. If not, I just let it sit there, But I like to keep a little drip or something, and that keeps the film away too and everything. And I got an overflow, but I've never done it with sponge filters outside. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I do have one of my tubs out there with my red belly, my southern red belly case. I do have also a water pump which spins around the water to create a flow for them.
Mm-hmm.
Since they do like the flow, I kind of made sure that they had the flow in there. But
now,
with those subs as well, I do have it on an auto water changing system, so every day it's getting new water in there as well. So not completely, but it's new water added to it.
Okay. So you do have a water changing on it. Okay.
Yeah. Which is something I need to do an update on. Just haven't filmed it yet.
Understandable.
It's on my list, but I haven't got to it yet.
Tough questions. If you got to get rid of everything you have and only keep one tank, which tank you keeping?
Oh, probably my multis.
Why?
They're easy to take care of. And they do breed enough, so if I ever wanted to sell some out of it and make some cash on the side to support it, I would have that option as well.
That's true.
Fanaski, I haven't heard anything on that yet. I think they're still waiting for clearance on that from the place where they have the coast meeting at. Being at a senior center, it's probably still close to the public, so.
That was another question I was going to ask you. So you're part of your local aquarium society?
Yeah, I am a member of Coast, which is some long acronym I can't remember, but it is a fish club that meets in Costa Mesa, California.
How's been that experience for you?
I do enjoy it. It's fun to be there, just to be able to talk in person about fish and all that.
Mm-hmm. Ricky wants to know, do you have any fish tattoos?
Nope. Not a big fan of needles, and tattoo needles would be part of that. So no fish tattoos.
Oh, man. Now, if you had to get one, what would you get?
I'd probably get a pistogramma.
Your logo? You'll put your logo on you?
Right there. Probably that pistogramma right there.
Now, since you're part of your aquarium society, you get to see what a lot of people are doing in your area. What's the big fish that they do in your area?
Guppies.
Not size-wise, but what's the most popular fish in your area?
In terms of the fish club, I mean, every auction has guppies galore. There's always guppies there. There are people that bring like cichlids as well, and a lot of it is guppies lately. So, which I've never really been a big fan of them, but I just haven't really. It's just one of those fish where I'm like, it's not on my list of things to get. So, and being limited to what I can keep, that's the thing. You kind of have to pick and choose when you have a lot of tanks.
So you don't bid in the auctions too often, huh?
Not for the guppies, no. I mean, I did try keeping. I actually did buy guppies once and tried those out, and they didn't go well. In talking to other fish, in talking to other fish members from the club, those guppies didn't go well for them either. So apparently, it wasn't me. It was more the line of guppies.
I thought you fed them to one of your cichlids.
Yeah. And that's one of the because unfortunately I got rid of my I had them and I put the guppies into what I used to have epistogrammas in it, and like I mean after that I'm like why did I do that for?
Now you're more into the Africans, but do you like any Central South American cichlids?
Epistogrammas.
I mean, we got that. I'm talking about real cichlids. Pistols.
Other than epistogrammas, not really. I mean, there's a lot that I do like looking at, but getting into the larger ones, I'm not really too much into the larger ones, mainly due to the fact that I can't really have a lot of large tanks. This, of course, is my largest tank, and I have my Bunas in that, so.
No angelfish, no convicts, never got your attention.
I'd probably do angelfish. I'd probably do angelfish before I do guppies next time. If I had a tank specifically that I could put angels into. Mm-hmm. Or I would actually get two blue aquariums.
I think they're talking about getting fish tattoos now in the chat. Somebody's getting one. Hold on.
Let's see.
I think Ricky's getting a fish tattoo.
But yeah, I mean, my plan for this after I'm done with the Lagunas, after I pay off my debt, my plan is once I pay off my credit card debt, I'm going to change out this and probably go with some blue acaras and maybe on the top, maybe get those African butterfly fish in there and see how they do. I mean, looking at it, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the African butterflies would mainly stay towards the top. The blue cars should be more towards the bottom, so it should be fine there. So,
yeah, it should work.
Yeah. Now when we get to the fry, I mean, if the fry end up going to the top, they're probably going to be eaten. But population control.
Oh yeah, it won't go to waste. You know, the ones up top would get nice and fat. Only Oscars, how you doing? I think we got more people coming in. Jay Oliver, Guppies and Aquatic, how you doing?
Yeah, I think it's because Puppy Dance Fish is done streaming, and right now it's kind of in that lull between Dance Fish and Pam.
Yeah. I'm actually got big changes going on next week. I'm going to be changing my streaming time to 8. It'll be Rob 93, not Golden, then Dance Fish.
Well, I mean, you could probably look at the would 7:30 be out of the option for you?
Yeah, because it'll be in the middle of Rob 93's live stream.
Gotcha. Yeah, finding stream times nowadays is kind of rough. You have like everyone doing live streams nowadays. I mean, unfortunately, you're gonna have to overlap with someone.
Yeah, you do. And I've been surprised how many morning live streams be popping up.
Yeah, I used to do mine on I think it was like Wednesday around noon my time, so I used to do that. But I switched more to the late night time because basically, with my boys being home, it kind of interrupted with that. And my boys being home, I kind of didn't want to really do it with my boys home. So I decided to pick a time where it's going to be late and I know I'm gonna be home, and I don't have the interruptions and all that. So, and actually, the late night streams have actually been working out for me great. Especially following Chattanooga Ed, that's been a lot of helpful for me because I've noticed since I started doing that, my channel's been growing faster. So, because Chattanooga Ed and Fish from Fever, they've been great at sending people over to the next streams.
Yeah, they're good guys. I like them guys. They they're about helping each other. Ed just got his 1K,
Yep.
and Fishy Biz too.
Yep.
They just push for that.
I think Chattanooga Ed is now monetized as well. So I think on his stream tomorrow, he's actually going to be able to do super chats.
Okay. Now, because you talking about staying at home, have you noticed a change with this whole COVID in the hobby? Did you see the growth, or did you not see the growth that happening?
I haven't really seen it personally. I'm not being in the fish stores per se, but when I had a chance to actually talk to some people who actually work in the stores, I know I talked to Ron Saucy, who runs Aquarium Fish Depot, and he's seen an uptick due to all those people where people are actually coming in more due to being at home more.
Oh yeah, more people are staying at home and found this, us on YouTube and everything, and kind of got into the hobby. Now, when you got into the hobby, what was the first channel that got you?
I know when I got in the hobby, I used to watch a lot of Aquarium Co-op, Dustin's Fish Tanks. When I was first getting into the hobby, I was doing a lot of do-it-yourself stuff, which I was watching King of DIY when he was actually doing DIY stuff.
Yeah. What was your first video? Do you remember your first video you did?
I know the first video on my channel is a Shamu show, but that wasn't back when I was actually recording for fish. My first video in terms of fish stuff was my water change system that I was doing for water changes, where I'll take a bucket, put into my bathtub, run a pump with a hose to my fish tank, pump some water into the fish tank, and then turn off the pump and have the water siphon back into the tub and empty it that way, and then pump the water back through the hose with the water running into my bucket from my bathtub.
Some DIY water changes.
Back. I mean, that's the solution I took because I was looking at the Python water changing system, and I'm like thinking like, I'd really like that. I like the idea, but then I kind of looked into it, and my bathtub, of course, wouldn't be able to house it because it wouldn't be able to screw in. And I'm just thinking, okay, running the water to start the siphon, that seems like a waste. Although it probably would work for me without the water siphoning, but that's just $50 I didn't need to spend.
Yeah. That's the only bad thing about the Python. You couldn't just hook it up to anything. You had to hook it up to something that you had to screw on, and most people in the home, you using the bathroom to do water changes.
Yeah. And my bathtubs had the square little nozzles out, so you can't screw anything in there. Hey, the fish box, how's it going?
The fish box, how you doing? Now, we're getting towards the end of the stream, so what would be your best advice you could give anybody coming into the hobby? Since you got 3 years, what was the big mistake that you made, or you feel that a lot of new people are making?
As much as I stretch, as much as I keep on stressing research, I've had a few times I didn't research enough. So basically, I mean, if you're getting into the hobby, or if you're actually been in the hobby, just making sure you're constantly doing your research of what's going on out there, researching like, is this fish going to work for you, and what kind of downfalls can you see with them, and always making sure you keep an open open-minded where you're just constantly learning.
What fish you didn't research that you feel you didn't research enough?
It was a loach. It was a dwarf chain loach.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I saw them at the fish store. I liked them, and then like I even asked the employee there, do you think they'll go well in the go well? Like, oh well, they do. Like, I actually did the research. And I'm like, all the research said make sure you get a good enough school on them. I'm like, I really wanted them. Like, do you think one or two people buy it? And the guy's like, oh yeah, sure. Take them home, and they find out that it didn't work out because all the dwarf chain loach were doing was just kind of going after all the other fish. All the other fish, stressing them out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Research is the key thing, you know, and really going in depth of your research. It's, you know,
And never just trust one source either.
that's true.
You kind of have to look at the whole outlets, what's out there, and kind of think, okay, what seems to be the consensus, and go from that. Hopefully, I mean, you can do all the research in the world as well, and sometimes certain things just don't work out for whatever particular reason that your setup is. Sometimes a lot of things might work for one person where it might not work for you.
It does. It really works that way, you know, because everybody does things different, you know, and you just got to find the one that works for you.
I mean, some betas could do fine in a community setup, where other betas are just being a little. Can't have anyone else in the tank.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Dave, again, thank you for joining us tonight. Throw in all your social media. Where can they find you at? You know, YouTube. You know,
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all at Aquarium Thoughts. So it's all straightforward. So if you do any of those and / Aquarium Thoughts, you'll find me.
Got you.
If that makes any sense.
Aquarium Thoughts everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Even .com.
Oh yeah, aquariumthoughts.com/stickers. If you want to get a copy of Aquarium Thoughts stickers. Fishbox says he has a killer betta called Jaws.
Did you name him Jaws before or after he was killing everything?
Probably after.
Sometimes you name a fish something and it just takes after its namesake sometimes.
That's true. Ain't that the truth? Well, again, thank you guys for joining us. And like always, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.